I am now a firm Sasquatch believer. I apologize for writing a novel, but I had to get this out there and tell people what me and two other guys experienced. Anyway, I live in the Pacific Northwest on 82 acres and it's pretty rural. My property backs up into thousands of acres of privately owned timberland, Warehouser, Port Blakely, etc. I have one neighbor about 100 yards past my house. We live on a dead-end road that just so happens to end at a cemetery. My property borders said cemetery. A few days ago, me and my buddy were loading up my truck and getting ready to go out and cut some firewood. It was about 5 a.m. So the sun wasn't up yet. I have a few extremely bright LED auxiliary lights on my work truck. I mean, these things light up the night like it's daytime. I was parked facing my open field that has a heavily wooded tree line about 50 yards away from where we were parked loading up our gear for the day. I had all 6 of my aux lights blasting out into the field so we could see what we were doing. The field was lit up like the 4th of fucking July all the way to the tree line and then some. Directly across from my field, across the one-way dead-end road, is my neighbor's house. He's about 100 yards away from my field up on a little bit of a hill. He has a perfectly clear view of my field and tree line. My buddy who was with me walked off to the side of my truck to pop a piss and get rid of some coffee. I was walking towards my shop to grab more gear and I hear this weird screeching, howling sound. At first I thought my buddy was dragging something across the metal flatbed of my truck. I turned around to ask him WTF he was doing, and he's staring directly into the field towards the tree line. I look where he's staring and I see something dark-colored hauling ass into the tree line. At first I thought it was a black bear. Pretty common around here. Then I realize it's walking on 2 feet with arms swinging by its side, taking huge strides. As quickly as it appeared, it disappeared. I'm in work mode, so I continue to head towards the shop to grab my chainsaw, not really registering what I had just seen. All of a sudden my neighbor's truck comes tearing ass out of his driveway. I'm thinking, damn Jade, my neighbor is in a big ass hurry to get to work this morning. He comes flying into where my truck's parked and bails out of his truck and says, "Did you motherfuckers just hear and see that shit?" Before I could respond, my buddy says, "Dude, what the fuck was that?" And my buddy looks scared shitless. It all finally registers in my brain and I say, "What was that howl scream? And what the fuck was that thing running into the woods?" Neighbor Jade says that was a goddamn Bigfoot, dude. No way in fuck it was a bear. I watched it well into the tree line and it stayed on 2 feet running like a fucking human man. My buddy confirms this by nodding his head and he's still white as a ghost. Around 5 a.m. I have heard that same howl yell on several occasions. Witnessed by other people as well. Sometimes I can hear what sounds like big ass sticks hitting something. I'm guessing a tree since it has that solid thud sound. Oddly enough, there has been a story I've heard from multiple people out here about 8-foot-tall man. I always thought it was just some story to scare us kids. Now I'm thinking there's absolutely some truth behind it. I've always believed in cryptids and things of that nature. The property I live on has been in my family since the early 1900s. I inherited it a few years back. I grew up here, then moved away for a while, and about 5 years ago I built a shop house on the edge of the property that's closest to the cemetery. This is unrelated to the Bigfoot stuff. But I've experienced things here that I don't tell people about because they'd think I was full of shit or just insane. Anytime I have guests over and we're hanging out late, something weird always happens. Recently, I've had a woman's hair pulled so hard that it unsnapped the hat she was wearing. Freaked her the fuck out. Couple days later, my other friend and her girlfriend were here hanging out and I was telling them about the chick that had her hair pulled. They were both chuckling a little bit, thinking I was trying to scare them. And right as the clock hit 3 a.m., all of us heard a lady speaking clear as day through the radio. She said, "Don't laugh. It's real." They both freeze and look scared shitless. I look up towards the speakers where the voice came from, and there is a kid-size handprint on the ceiling directly above the speaker. I know it wasn't there before because I just set the speakers up that day. The handprint is still there. I have an old dump truck parked in front of my shop that looks like it came out of a horror movie. One of my other friends says she always sees a weird-looking dude sitting in the truck. She calls him Dump Truck Dude. This chick is tough as nails, and I've never seen anything scare her before. She won't stay at my house past 2 a.m. anymore. These are just a few experiences that others have had at my house. I've personally experienced way more shit that I can't explain. So, yeah. I'm 100% a firm believer in Bigfoot now. People can think this is just a story, but I'd gaff what anyone says. I know what me and the 2 other witnesses saw. Post from user Incoherent Bug Noises at Reddit.